Imagine if you could build AI workflows within minutes and not hours. Today in this video, I'm going to talk exactly about that, how you can connect n8n with Claude Code, which will help you spin up AI workflows within minutes. So here on my screen, what you can see is n8n's landing page. It is an AI agent and workflow builder that you can see and control. So for example, I'll show you this that wherein you can create a form. You'll have your AI agent with multiple tools available like Anthropic's chat, Postgres database, and then you can make a condition that if it's a manager, then add it to a Slack channel, else you can update the profile. So automations like these often take months to build when you are doing it with code, but with n8n it is simple and you can build it within hours. You can see security operation, automations as well. You can use tools available. Say you want to use, Excel, you want to use Discord, Slack. There are a lot of nodes available in n8n that you can actually use and build out workflows really fast. And the community of n8n is really big. So if you ever come across some doubts or you get stuck somewhere, then you can definitely check out their community. Right. Now let's see how we can cut down the time of building, workflows within hours to minutes with Claude Code. So let me, first go over to Claude, and inside Claude, what the first thing that we'll do is that we'll go over to customize, then we will go to connectors, and then we'll click on plus icon, and then I can say n8n. As of now, my n8n is connected. And how do you connect your n8n? Let me show you that exactly. So on the page, you can, on the n8n page, you can click on get started and you will land on page something like this. And what you can do next is go to your settings, then go to instance level MCP. You can head over to connection details and then you will see a server URL. You can simply copy the URL and head over to your Claude connector and basically add in the URL when it asks you to. And once you authenticate, you'll be able to, get the connector ready. Once you authenticate, you can give some permissions to your tool that if it is allowed to read only, right? So for read only accesses, I have given it always allow, but however, for, writing or deleting things, I'll always ask it to, take approval from me because things can be catastrophic, right? Then you can, also add in plugins. I'll drop in a GitHub repository that you can ask Claude Code to simply install by, giving a command like /plugin marketplace, and then you can add in these n8n skills. This will be down in the description. You can check that out and basically install the skill. This will basically help your Claude to understand n8n better. This is a skill that will help it understand that what all things are available in n8n, what are tool callings, and what all options are available, when to use which node, correct? So these are the things that are available, right? Now I'll head over to my terminal, correct? And I have created a folder which goes by the name of n8n developer. So if I open my folder with n8n developer, it has this claude.md file. So if I talk about claude.md, claude.md basically helps Claude understand that what are the project requirements and things that you don't have to repeat yourself again and again. It will keep that in mind. This is basically a kind of a brain that's there for Claude, which it will always take reference to before it proceeds with any task. So I've told it that you are my n8n developer, follow these rules on every task. Make reusable workflows, always check for node schemas before generating a workflow, prefer built-in nodes over code nodes. Sometimes the problem is that it often, gives you code nodes instead of, nodes that already exist, like set node, if node, merge node. These are some native functionalities that come within n8n, but Claude often hallucinates with those things. But with this, already mentioned, it shouldn't do that, right? Whenever you make or update a workflow, give me a direct link to it so that I can directly go over to the workflow and check it out. Correct. And it has also self-updating memory so that, whenever you think that something has changed, it's worth remembering, then you can, update it in your claude.md file. So it is as simple as that. And I'm already in my code n8n developer folder. what I can do here is that I can type out Claude and I can click enter. So it has opened a instance for Claude. Now, simply what I will do is that paste in my prompt that I have. So I've pasted in my prompt and I wanted to build an AI-based N8N chatbot that tells me jokes, right? It will use a Gemini 3.1 flashlight model, and I've given it strict guardrails that except jokes, you shouldn't tell me anything. And then if I say that, the joke is approved or something like that, it can send it over to my Gmail. So this is something that I want to build with, Claude Code and N8N. So I'll just, press enter and let it start building. So it has completed the task. Let me head over to the workflow URL. Okay. So as you can see, it has given me, chat interface, joke agent, and it has connected it to my Gmail. It has Gemini 3.1 flashlight and some session memory. Okay, so now it's time to test it out. It has given some description as well, like JokeBot and what it does. Let me just expand it out. Yeah. Okay. So now let's test it out. Let me type out a message. Hey, I'm JokeBot. I only tell jokes. What want to hear one? Let's say yes. I mean, it's a pretty standard joke, but however, I'll just approve it. Approved. Send it over. I just received an email. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. So this was one of an example that I could come up immediately with automations tools like N8N and Claude Code. But the possibilities are endless. You can create much more mature workflows like summarizing your email threads throughout your day, or maybe sending out important emails to you over Gmail. Sending out WhatsApp notifications, Telegram notifications. So there are a lot of things that can be done with N8N. And yeah, so if I talk about N8N, you can see actions in app, right? So you'll see a lot of node connectors available. Like if you're using Airtable, you can definitely add a node. Appify is there, Asana is there, there are lots and lots of them. Like the list is endless. So any automation that comes to your mind, think about how you can use N8N with, let's say, Claude Code or any other AI client and ship things faster. So this almost took me like 5 minutes to build, and this was only through, Claude Code. So start thinking in that direction, wherein you can minimize the amount of code and time that's invested into, building a product. Instead, if you think that an automation is simple, then try out tools like N8N that can certainly help you. So yes, that was all about the video. Thank you so much for watching. Do like, share, and subscribe this video, and share it with your friends who are looking for automation tools like these.